feeling great. I was a sophomore. I was, kind of finding myself, finding my confidence. It was a throw-in on the far sideline, and I just made a diagonal run across the field. I just felt a pop, and I knew, okay, I'm hurt bad. It wasn't like, man, this is painful. I just felt a pop, and I knew something was wrong. And visibly from, everyone's reaction, I was like, man, something's wrong, because people are like, oh, and he, ran away. People were getting visibly disturbed by it. And, I just knew kind of my season was over.
As soon as I walked onto the turf, I could hear him, and I could hear him saying, "Mom, I think I'm done. I don't think that I'll ever play soccer again."
So Isaac had a very unique injury. It happens towards the end of puberty when your skeleton is still somewhat immature, but your muscle mass is a full-grown man. He essentially pulled the front half of his knee apart, and it wasn't only in one part, it was in 4 different parts. So this is a really serious injury given its location. Not only was it pulling apart the ligaments on the front part of his knee, the fracture went up in through his knee and through the cartilage.
Dr. Seeley just has the ability to just talk to you on your level and make you feel like, okay. He makes you understand the process. He cared about me as a person first. He cared about, my overall health. And in that moment, the best thing he could do for me as a person was to fix my knee. So that's what he did.
Everybody did such a tremendous job in assuring us that we were in the right place, the medical staff in the emergency room, to Dr. Seeley's consultation. We had complete confidence.
The case was particularly challenging, mainly because of the degree of what we call comminution, or the amount of fragments the bone had shattered in, plus the fact that it went up into the joint the way it did. This required exact precision of everything to be restored to get a fully functional knee. Not to mention, that's just getting it back together. The recovery from a procedure like this is an extensive amount of time. One of the hard parts about this is I can do a perfect job, but if the child or the teenager does not take this on themselves to really invest in their rehab, we can't get a full recovery.
One of the things that we have always tried to stress with all of our kids is that you are more than the activities you do. But for a teenager who has really had this huge part of his life for years and years to be taken away so quickly, that was one of my fears. Just please, God, help Isaac to remember that he's more than a soccer player, because when he can't play soccer, then he still needs to have his identity, and he still needs to be strong and find the good in things.
Once I had the ability to take action, then I was like, okay, now I can breathe. Now I know there's steps that I can take. Controllables were making sure that I was moving, making sure that I was stretching or doing small strengthening exercises early on.
He was back on the soccer field within a number of months. Of course, under close supervision of Dr. Seeley, Isaac said he felt like he was repaired with titanium, he felt like he was bionic. So he had complete confidence in it on the soccer field.
It wasn't one step on the soccer field that built my confidence. It was, 5 months of recovery that built my confidence. And the soccer field, the first time on the field, was more of a celebration of, okay, yes, now I'm back to what I love.
The outcome that Isaac had is unbelievable. You're helping someone go through the journey of an injury. One of our goals is to try to give people perspective. And that perspective is not only what's happening now, but what is happening in the future. And it's trying to tell them when the hurdles are going to happen and, what our options are for getting through those. And this is when we talk about medicine not being science, but more of an art. When you can figure out how to connect those dots, you can get to really great levels of patient care.
We saw a lot of growth happen in Isaac, and just his strength and his courage and his integrity and all of these things that you can't measure on the soccer field, but they were all strengthened through this experience.